All right, listen, when people say Dallas-Fort Worth is affordable, I'm like, affordable compared to what? And for who? Because DFW is not one cost of living experience. You can move 20 minutes and your monthly spend changes in a way you feel, like in your actual life. Your mortgage, your toll bill, your electric bill, and those insurance renewals that make you stare at your screen like, is this a prank? So today, I'm breaking down the 7 costs of living, things that impact people the most in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. The ones that move the needle the hardest for those normal households. And for each one of you, I'm gonna tell you which city tends to be the most costly and which tends to be the cheapest for that specific category. Quick disclaimer before someone runs to the comments, DFW is micro. It changes street by street. So I'm talking bigger patterns and typical scenarios. I'm not pretending every neighborhood inside a city is exactly the same. And stay with me until the end because I'm giving you a simple DFW cost of living cheat code that helps you pick your best fit area without accidentally signing up for the most expensive version of Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay, our first category is housing. Housing is the heavyweight champ. It's usually your largest monthly expense and it sets off a real domino effect because a more expensive home often means higher property taxes, higher insurance, higher utilities, sometimes higher HOA, and if you're far north, maybe higher tolls and commute costs. This is where the gap between cities really can get dramatic. Places like Westlake, the park cities like Highland Park, University Park, and even Southlake are typically in that kind of premium pricing lane. Colleyville and some parts of Keller can land in that same higher cost pattern too, so just make sure you're taking a look at that. And then on the other end, you've got cities where your money often stretches further, like Arlington and many pockets in Fort Worth, plus places like Garland, Mesquite, Grand Prairie, Irving in certain areas, and some of the southern corridor cities where you can still find more house for the money. But here's the part people miss. A cheaper home price does not automatically mean cheaper living. Because in DFW, category number 2 can sneak up on you really hard. Before we get to category 2, I'm Tiffany. I'm a top 1% realtor here in DFW. My team and I help hundreds of people move here every year, so text me, we can help you guys too. Okay, category number 2, property taxes, special district taxes, and HOA reality. Texas doesn't have a state income tax, so property taxes matter. The property tax bill here is not one number. It's usually a stack. You've got city taxes, county taxes, school district taxes, and then sometimes extra layers like hospital districts, college districts, and potentially a PID or a MUD depending on where you live. If you're new here, this is where you get blindsided because you didn't realize there could be additional line items tied to infrastructure and development. In some of the fastest growing areas with that newer master plan communities, you may see higher effective totals once everything's assessed and the districts are fully in play. That doesn't mean those cities are bad, it just means you need to know what you're signing up for. And while higher end cities can have expensive homes, it's not always the richest city that has the most painful tax experience. Sometimes it's the combination of newer development layers plus kind of a high valuation that creates that whoa moment. The cheapest tax bill often shows up in the older, more established areas where the tax stack is just simpler. But I want you to hear me. It's address by address. The same city can look totally different depending on which county, which school district, and which special districts you might be in. Okay, category number 3 is transportation. So we've got commute costs, tolls, gas, parking, time, and wear and tear. Transportation is not just how far is work, it's how often you're driving, where you're paying tolls daily, and how much of your life is being spent in the car. DFW has a toll reality, and this is where people's budgets can quietly get wrecked, especially if you're new and you don't set yourself up correctly. If you're using toll roads regularly, having a toll tag versus paying the bill by mail, that version can really make a huge difference. And those costs add up fast if you're commuting 5 days a week. Transportation tends to be most costly for households living further north who commute south or towards major job centers and really rely on those toll roads to buy time. The cheapest transportation pattern isn't tied to a specific city name, it's tied to living closer to where you work. choosing a central location that reduces that cross-metro driving, or living in a place where you don't have to pay tolls to maintain your sanity just because you want to drive faster. And then category 4 is insurance, auto and homeowners. This one has made a lot of people feel like DFW got really expensive overnight. Auto insurance can vary by city and zip code based on traffic density and accident patterns. And homeowners insurance has been a real pain point because rates are influenced by replacement cost, claim history, and weather-related risk across Texas. The biggest thing to know is that insurance is not just a Dallas versus Fort Worth conversation. It's a zip code and a house profile conversation. High density areas can tend higher for auto, and higher priced homes usually cost more to insure simply because they cost more to rebuild. So if you're in a premium home like Westlake, Southlake, and the Park Cities, even if your neighborhood feels safe and pristine, the replacement cost alone can push your premium up. On the cheaper side, lower density areas and more modest replacement costs can sometimes reduce those premiums. But again, it depends on the exact address, the claim history, and the home itself. Category 5 is utilities. You've got electric, water, trash, internet. In DFW, utilities can be wildly seasonal because summer is not a joke. Your electric bill is going to be influenced by your square footage, insulation, windows, how hot you keep it, whether you have a pool, and how efficient your home is. This category often hits harder in bigger home cities where households tend to have more square footage, because cooling a larger space through a Texas summer, that's real money, guys. Okay. Utilities can also surprise people in older homes with less efficiency. And water costs can creep up depending on city fees and usage, especially if you're watering a big yard in a hotter than normal year. And then on the cheaper side, smaller footprints, shared wall living like a duplex or a townhome, and energy efficient builds can reduce that monthly burn. And even if your purchase price is higher because your day-to-day operating costs are lower. Category 6, childcare and school extras. If you have kids, childcare can be one of the biggest pressure costs, and it changes based on demand, local income patterns, and availability of centers and programs. Then there's the part nobody warns you about. Even in public schools, families often spend a lot on school life, and that's beyond taxes. You've got aftercare, sports, club fees, booster activities, tutoring, summer camps. And in high income areas, those optional extras become the culture. So your family spending can creep up because the default expectation is just higher. Childcare and kid-related costs tend to feel higher in a premium area like the Westlakes and Southlakes, and also in high demand family suburbs like Frisco, Plano, Prosper, where there's a lot of dual working households competing for those spots. More manageable patterns often show up in areas with different demand and pricing ecosystems like Arlington, so many parts of Fort Worth, Garland, Mesquite, Sachse, those and other value-focused cities. But again, you're going to want to check the specific providers and wait lists because this category is extremely personal to your family structure and your schedule. Category 7 is food and lifestyle spending. You've got groceries, restaurants, weekend life, and let's be honest, your cost of living isn't only bills, it's also how expensive is living the life you want where you live. Grocery prices don't always swing massively city to city the way housing does, but what changes is the store mix you default to, the restaurant culture, and the lifestyle pressures of your area. If your normal Saturday is brunch, boutique workout class, dinner out, and then some shopping, your spending is going to reflect that. Lifestyle spending tends to skew higher in places like Uptown, Park Cities, and those Dallas adjacent areas, in luxury suburbs like Southlake and Westlake, and the certain corridors of Plano and Frisco where the premium everything ecosystem is really, really strong. On the cheaper side, you can still have a great life in places like Arlington, Sachse, and so many parts of Garland, Mesquite, Fort Worth, and those mid-range suburbs. But the default fund often costs less and the lifestyle pressure is usually lower. So here's your quick recap. Housing is usually most costly in Westlake, the Park Cities, Southlake, and more affordable in places like Arlington, Irving, Garland, Mesquite, many value cities across the Metroplex. Property taxes can be most painful where the tax stack is high and special districts like MUDs and PIDs are in play, especially in the new growth corridors, while older established areas can sometimes feel simpler, but you have to check those exact addresses. Transportation is most costly when your commute is long and toll dependent, and cheapest when you live near work or choose central positioning that really reduces drive time and paid road reliance. Insurance can trend higher in dense metro areas for auto and higher replacement cost cities for homeowners, while lower density and lower replacement costs can sometimes reduce the burden, but zip code matters. Utilities tend to hit hardest with bigger homes, pools, and older inefficiencies, and feel easier when smaller footprints and efficient builds. Childcare and school extras tend to be pricier in premium and high-demand family areas, while being more manageable in value zones, depending on provider availability. And then, of course, food and lifestyle spending climbs in premium lifestyle corridors and luxury suburbs, while being more flexible in more value-oriented cities. Now, here's the DFW cost of living cheat code, and I need you to hear me on this, okay? Stop picking the city first. Pick your cost of living anchors first. Ask yourself, where do I need to be for work most days? What monthly housing payment feels comfortable in real life? Am I okay paying tolls to buy time? Do I need childcare now or soon? Do I want a bigger home that costs more to run or a smaller footprint that lowers my monthly burn? Do I want premium lifestyle default, or do I prefer value and I'll drive to the fun? Once you answer that, the city list becomes obvious and you stop accidentally signing up for the most expensive version of DFW without realizing it. And if you're relocating and you want help narrowing it down based on your budget, your commute, that lifestyle, and what you actually care about day to day, reach out to us. Now, in the comments, I want you to put the 2 things that matter most to you, like lower taxes and shorter commute, or new construction and great schools but no crazy tolls. And I'll tell you the short list of areas that usually match that profile. Hit subscribe because this channel is your DFW decision cheat sheet. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to help you pick the right version of DFW the first time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.